Hello and welcome to our Stebbington podcast, Guardians of the Gigabyte. I'm Steph.
And I'm Debs. And together, we are the nerds you need.
Helping businesses become more efficient by utilising systems and software and improving their processes.
And whilst that may sound a little bit boring, we also like to sprinkle in a lot of fun.
So relax,
Get yourself a cuppa.
and join us for half an hour of insight and amusement.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of Guardians of the Gigabyte. I'm Debs.
And I'm Steph.
And together we are
Stebbington Limited. Yay!
helping businesses become more efficient by utilising systems and improving those processes.
And because we're system agnostic, we use all the systems.
All systems.
Oh, I love doing what we do. But before we go into that, Debs, where the hell have you been?
Yeah. For the casual observers, you may have noticed we didn't do a podcast last month. We've been very busy, and I went on my hollybobs for like first proper holiday in quite a while.
Basically, yeah, she chose holiday over podcast.
I did.
But how was your holiday?
Oh, it was so good. There was like 13 of us because it was with my partner's family and, you know, my nieces and nephews and all that. And then we went to Fuerteventura, which was lovely. It was like paradise, really.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. The hotel we stayed in, stayed in like, I think there's it's a chain called Barcello, I think, or Barcello. I don't know how to say it.
Barcello, I think Barcello.
I think it's Barcello. That sounds right, doesn't it?
Barcello.
And it was really good, actually, because I didn't take my toothbrush out with me. This is a really uninteresting story. But stay with me. But they did, when you got there, obviously, the hotel provides stuff in the rooms. And they had things like toothbrushes, shaving kits, all of that. But it was all very sustainable. Like the toothbrush was like bamboo, kind of thing. And I just and all the way through there was a lot of sustainable stuff, like, you know, paper straws, which I think are a controversial subject. I think some people don't like. I don't like paper straws if you've got a drink that you're keeping going for a long time.
Yeah,
because
it
gets soggy.
They don't work. Especially because there is recyclable plastic now. So I'm like, could we just use that for the straws?
I wonder how sustainable recyclable plastic is.
I wonder how sustainable a lot of things actually
are.
That
is true.
Because they say that it is, but then, like, you know, I don't know if you guys do this with the fabric conditioner bottles and things, and it's like, right, okay, you have to deconstruct it though. So the sleeve isn't recyclable, but the bottle is. But the lid isn't, apart from unless you live in these certain areas, and then it is. And I'm like, I just want to recycle the bottle.
It's really complicated, isn't it? Because I know in our recycling, obviously, I didn't realise, but there's loads of stuff you can't recycle, and then the stuff that you do recycle, you've got to do this stuff to.
Well, we always rinse before we do it, but it's up here, so I felt like that we do it all. But when we were in Wales, they had 4 different recycling things, so you had to recycle, like plastic would go in one. Bottles would go in the other, and I think in Ireland we separated the bottles for this recycling, and more plastic seems to be recycled over here. But yeah, in Wales you have to really, cardboard goes in one, and it was a whole thing.
But I do. So I know that some places. So I live in a flat, so we've got like one big bin that you put everything in.
Oh, I hate those things. So no, but you know where they're all stored.
Oh yes, disgusting.
Oh, there's always a rat.
I've never seen a rat. She's never seen a rat in mine. Okay,
in
let me just say that.
I have seen a rat in a bin before.
I don't live in an area where there's loads of rats. Okay, just put that out there. No, but I know that some houses. I read somewhere that some of the bin men that come over to do the recycling, if there's something in their their home one, when you have your own one, if there's something in it that can't be recycled, they just don't take any of it. Is that true?
Right, so I remember hearing about this again in Ireland, because they were saying if you put a pizza box in and there's still a bit of food on there, then it can't be taken. So everything's been contaminated, so none of it can be recycled. But that to me doesn't make sense, because I was under the impression they washed the stuff. So obviously we rinse it out, but I feel like that's just, you don't want kind of mouldy food in your recycling bin, so we rinse that out. But then when it goes to the recycling plant, I thought it then would get washed again, because then it gets sorted even more, because you would separate like the different kinds of plastic. You have your flimsy film, and then you have your hard, and that was my understanding.
But the fact they won't take anything, if you had that pizza box, rather than just putting that in the in just the normal bin, like why would they not take anything? And then what happens? Like, do they just leave it in your bin? So you come home from work and you're like, oh, I just checked they're taking the recycling bin, and they haven't.
And I actually do check, by the way, because we have to bring our bins out. So today's bin day, funnily enough, and there's the cycling in Maine. And then, whenever I go and take them out, I always just check to make sure they've taken my rubbish.
Yeah.
They've never not taken it, and I wouldn't say I'm always 100%.
Okay.
So I don't think that is right. I think they do still take it, but then it can also depend on the person.
Yeah.
Who knew we were going to talk about bins this much?
Well,
sustainability.
But it brings it in quite nicely with the whole sustainability, because obviously I was really impressed with the hotel. So things like, if you didn't need your towels washed, there was things to do.
Oh, I love that.
And
I
all of
hate
that.
when they just wash them just because they have to.
Just because they can. But it was a wonderful hotel, and obviously they had recyclable. It was all inclusive. You had recyclable, like plastic cups, but they were proper plastic that you take around with the holiday with you, which I really liked.
Reusable.
Apart from when I needed a cocktail, and I need that in a glass.
Needed. Again, she was with her family.
They taste so much better when it's in a glass.
Well, because that's the thing, isn't
With
it?
all the accoutrements, like fuzzy things and umbrellas and things like that.
What did you call those things though? What was that long word?
Accoutrements.
Is that what they're actually called?
Well, accoutrements is like extras. So if you have like little extras on anything, it's not just for cocktails. It's
okay. It's not cocktail specific. I was like, that's what they're called then when they put the umbrella. It's like, dem sheesh, and they put like all the little. Oh, I love.
Shout out to Dem sheesh.
Dem sheesh is good food.
Yeah. I don't like the food, but I do like the cocktails. Shocker.
Whereas I'm there for the food all day long. But sustainability and bamboo. I do love bamboo socks. It's something that I have only been wearing since March, but they've changed my life. They're so soft and so comfy and so warm, but still so cooling because they're natural.
It's a bit dangerous, isn't it? If you were like walking around, I don't know, China in bamboo socks, would panda bears get them?
I don't think so. They're as creatures, they're pretty.
Yeah, but they like bamboo, don't they?
Yeah, I don't think.
And they're bears.
Cheesy bamboo.
Like mozzarella sticks.
Well, luckily I'm in England and there's no pandas
That's
here.
true. Okay.
I know of.
So anyway, so sustainability, we will get to this point. Obviously, you've got your sustainability when you go on holiday, you've got your sustainability, recycling at home and all of that kind of stuff.
And I've generally, just generally, like with Play It Green, there's so much more that you can do now.
Well, this is what we were going to say. When it comes to your business, how sustainable are you? It's something that we've really noticed. So when we started Stebbington, we were like, going paperless is the way forward. Like
saving trees.
Saving trees. And then you can imagine to our dismay when we learned about how actually bad carbon, how much carbon the internet creates. Yeah. So there's us going, keep it all digital and everything. And then, but it turns out that the internet's one of the worst kind of things for your carbon footprint. But
you can offset it.
Absolutely. So we're just going to talk a little bit today about a couple of things that you can do to kind of make your business a little bit more sustainable. So, Steph, what do we do?
Well, number one, we signed up to Play It Green. Mm-hmm. So we pay every month some money and they plant some trees. We have it's called a Stebbington garden. Anyone who signs up with them, honestly, such a good
initiative.
It's such a good initiative. It's really something I like that we're part of because they do, and that helps us offset our carbon footprint. Mm-hmm. I like things like EcoSend, and there's a lot more companies that are aware of this. So with the data servers, obviously running those massive servers all the time, that is a lot. That's where the carbon kind of comes from. So there's companies like EcoSend where they have lots of smaller servers, so they can actually turn some of them off when it's not peak time. So they will always, and I was straight away like, well, what happens if they've turned too many off? But no, they say they're always going to be above capacity. But obviously, say, I don't know, there's certain times of the day when less emails are sent. But how many emails are sent? Millions, billions, and all of that
it's
really
an email
adds up.
Marketing system.
Yeah, so EcoSend's email marketing, which is why they focus on like just how also to make your emails smaller carbon footprint, because obviously if you have all those big images and lots of links, it adds up. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's something that we kind of look at, isn't it? It's kind of what's the company doing that with the software company as well? What are they doing to offset the carbon footprints, and how can that help your business be more sustainable? And there's other things, isn't there, Debbie?
There is. I mean, it's simple things like your website. We speak to quite a few people who have website builders, and there's one, Roger Knight, from Attract More. He does low carbon websites, so it's literally designed to not run as much, but their websites still look fantastic. They're still just the same as a normal website. You wouldn't really notice a difference, but the planet will.
Yeah.
So there's
I
little
love
things like
that.
Yeah.
You won't notice, but the planet will.
They will indeed. And other things like using JPEG files. Everyone uses a JPEG file as a picture format in their website, but just changing that to a WebP file, which means it's kind of like an online one, also cuts down on the amount of time it takes to load, which is obviously using the carbon. Or using the power and the energy. And the other thing is fonts as well. This is quite an interesting one. Is obviously there's, you've got fonts. And then you have like the universal fonts, if you like.
Times New
Shout out to Calibri. Shout out to Comic Sans. There's so much hate for Comic Sans.
Wingdings. I love Wingdings.
Why does anyone use Wingdings?
Wingdings. When you're trying to send secret notes that you don't want your child to read.
Is that like purely the only reason?
I feel like that's the only reason I've used it.
I've never.
She reads my messages now. I've got to put a code on there somehow. She knows my password.
Yeah, but then so in our original website we had some font that wasn't one of the universal ones.
Yeah.
When I spoke to somebody, they were like, that actually takes up more time on the internet because the more power on the internet to find that font and then load it up and all of that. So it's simple things like kind of looking at anything that's on your website, just see if there's a lower carbon way of doing something. Yeah. And there's a lot of things you can do with sort of sustainability in your business.
And sometimes it is like that, though. It's offsetting, isn't it? So there's things you can do, and some things like you still need to send an email. Mm-hmm. Fine. Let's see, can we offset it? So
see people with like their email signatures that have got like moving pictures and such things as that actually uses quite a lot of power. So is it relevant? Do you really need to do that?
I mean, it looks great. I get why they do it.
It does look good.
But is it worth the price? I think that's the thing, isn't it? Is the price too high for that moving? When you think how many emails then you're going to send with that signature and how many responses, maybe just cut down on emails in general. That's...
Well, they were saying about sort of chat. I mean, we're going to talk about AI and ChatGPT in that next month. But, they were saying that just saying thank you to ChatGPT actually uses quite a lot of stuff. And I'm like, but I can't not say thank you.
Isn't it? It's actually costing. I saw something from OpenAI saying it's actually costing them money because people keep putting the pleases and the thank yous. But they also did say, we'll take that hit because isn't it nice that humans are actually polite?
Yes.
Like even to machines, I say good morning. I'm like, good morning, ChatGPT. Are you ready for today?
I have a great time with them. And also, AI uprising. Come on, guys, be polite.
We want to be on the good side. Anyway, so what other things could we do to be more sustainable? I wonder if there is other things that we've maybe heard about and something we should consider. Have you guys got anything that you do that's sustainable? Like I know there's a lot of businesses, and again, I love this, where they get a new client, they always plant another tree. Mm-hmm. So it's similar to kind of what we do with Play It Green, but we do it regardless. But again, it's more trees.
Obviously, you've got the B Corp companies as well, haven't you? So the ones that are actually going around and actively making changes, and then they get awarded the B Corp kind of certificate. That's quite good. If you're going to be using a supplier, using suppliers and stuff, so sort of your outreach of that, of like looking, if you're going to get a supplier, get one that's B Corp certified.
But they're actually changing that, aren't they? Next year, it's been in a while. I was chatting to someone, bee pollinators, and they actually help businesses become a B Corp accredited. Mm-hmm. And they were saying that they're changing how it's going to go. So it's going to be more industry specific as of 1st of January 2026. It's taken them a couple of years to get to this point, but they're saying, now it's going to be more industry specific, whereas at the moment it's kind of like a blanket accreditation.
Okay.
So it can be more, because obviously someone who's, I don't know, if you use in manufacturing, for example, you're going to have a much bigger kind of carbon footprint than someone like us.
I suppose, yeah.
So sustainability, everyone can do their part. And I think, and I saw someone saying like, why do people care? And it's like, because we live here.
Yeah.
Like
I do
our
get
duty.
it, 'cause I think sometimes you're like like, but what difference does it make if I do it? Like recycling, if you're like, well, what difference does it make if I do it? And I think that's the thought of having it like that is where the problem is, because it's like, well, if you make your little changes, someone else makes their little changes, then eventually a little change will become a big change.
Well, it does though, doesn't it? It all adds up. It's that then the collective are doing something and we are actually making a difference.
And with all the businesses we've spoken about today, they're not making anything different to your life. They're not going to change they're not changing your business. You're still getting the same good quality you'd get from other things, but you're making a change at the same time. You know, like the websites from Attract More are great websites. So it's not really doing you any changes, but you're making a difference yourself. So.
You can send emails. They are still high quality. You wouldn't know anything different from MailerLite or MailChimp. It's just they are more sustainable. Yeah. And they invest a lot into the communities as well. And I really like that. I love that.
Well, so it's that time of the podcast where I will ask you, Steph, what favourite bit of automation or what have you done? What have you done? What have you been doing?
Well, you've been on holiday, so I've been doing everything.
Mine's really easy this year.
Looking at driveways.
No, honestly, have you been doing any fun projects or anything exciting?
I have been doing. I find like I always do fun projects.
Well, yeah.
Something I've been really enjoying actually is Make. Oh, I know.
Zappia's not going to be happy every time you sort of mention Zappia.
I know, it has a little paddy, but...
Yeah, it's going to know.
Make, just because as great as Zappia is, Make sometimes has more functions. There's a few more things
especially
that you can do.
Especially on the free version.
Yeah, even on the free version, well, you can have longer scenarios, but it's actually what you can do within that app or software, and they do have a few on there that Zappia actually don't. So... But then obviously Zappia has thousands that they don't. So, but yeah, it's been a nice change, doing scenarios instead of zaps, and it's just been that. And then we were connecting Flowloo with Google Calendar and that, which is also, another one though, is the Google bookings. Really useful. Massive fan of Tidy Cow. Think Cool Link's just really useful and efficient to book in places, 100%. But Google does have it. So if you have signed up to a Google Workspace within your business, there is Google Bookings. And they're not fancy, but they do the job. And it's directly in your calendar. So
that's all included in the Google Workspace subscription.
Yeah, I've set us up one. We've got Tidy Cow anyway.
We've got all the booking links now.
I just like trialing it. Anyway, I would ask you, but I mean, you've been on holiday, so...
Yeah, not for like 6 weeks. I wish I had.
Could you imagine?
Could have done
You'd never come back, I don't think.
Well, I mean, just bringing it back to Make, though, I do... So obviously Make does have a free version, and as we said before, with Zappia and the free version, you can only have like an action and a trigger and an action. You can't have anything else. But with Make, we found you can have that separate actions within it, because we've done some cool stuff with that. It's also a lot cheaper than Zappia. I think it's like £10 a month or something.
For the next, Zappia's equivalent would be £25 a month, and it's £10 for Make. But I would also note that it's a bit more codey.
It's a bit more technical, yeah.
That's probably the word.
A bit more, yeah.
Cody,
yeah,
technical.
No, it's 100% a bit more technical, and also some of the apps that you'd like aren't on there.
No, and some of them would only work with API calls. So yeah, but I get. But I've had fun with it.
It's all the roundabouts.
It's all the roundabouts.
So that's a good one.
Yeah.
And on that, actually, I was working on a Monday.com board
on Monday,
and originally we'd set up Zappia, and I realised they were using free Zappia, and I couldn't do what I needed it to do, so went into Make, and I was able to, when Go Proposal, was it Go Proposal? I think so. When a Go Proposal thing was signed, I was able to use Make to then find the right item in a board and then update said board and all of that, and that was all on the free version of Make. So I'm also on the Make train a little bit, because I think it was really, really handy.
It is though, and it is that, because Zappia will always be a love, but having that limitation of just trigger and step, you can't even filter, which obviously, there's ways around it. You can get smart, but it is that with Make.
Just a tricky one.
Yeah, no, I think just again, integration and automation, what we love.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the key, isn't it? And then finding these tools sort of like Make, Zapier, all of that, which kind of really make your life a lot more easy when it comes to integration. If you've got a tool to do that for you. And that's the only reason, if you're brand new and not very techie, Make might be a bit of a learning curve, but you can always call us and speak to us. We can help you with that. But Zapier is a little bit. But then the only thing about Zapier, I'm just going to get on my soapbox.
I was going to say, she's on a high horse. Did you see that?
Do you remember before they updated the user interface, and before you used to be able to see it in folders? Like on the front screen, you click Zaps and you could just change it to folders, and it was just neater, wasn't it?
Yes.
I feel like you can click on folders, but before it used to be a lot easier and a lot neater on that user interface. I don't know why they changed it, because now just all the Zaps are there, all the ones, and I know you can filter, but they don't default filter. So you've got all the on-off Zaps from different folders. It doesn't tell you what folder they're in. Well, I think it does tell you what folder they're in.
Yeah, it does.
But I just get a bit confused about it now, and I don't like it.
I think
Zapier, I don't know why you changed it. Can you change it back, please? It just wasn't very neat. It's not neat and tidy. And if you've got a lot of Zaps, like for one of our clients, we've got Zaps that do something in one system, we've got Zaps that do something in another system. It's not neat. So I'm like, okay, which Zap is this? Where is it? And you can't number them because they're all for different systems. So you'd have like 1, 2, 3, 4 in one system and 1, 2, 3, 4 in another, but they're all together.
There are more numbers than 4, though. You know that.
I do.
You could name them. no, I do actually get what you mean, though, because like I find it annoying, because every time the first thing I do when I go in would be click onto folders, because then I know what one I'm looking for.
But when you
and where
first
I am,
go in, it just gives you the last ones that you've used. So you have to go into Zaps, and then you have to click onto folders. There's more clicks there than there was before. Yeah. I don't get it.
But I do think a massive shout out for Zapier for changing it from only 5 Zaps. So when you're a small business, or if it's just yourself and you do just need that action and step, before you could only have 5 free Zaps, whereas now they do it it's unlimited Zaps but 100 tasks, which doesn't sound a huge amount, but if you're not a huge business, then that might be enough.
Yeah.
So I do love that they changed that. That was Make. We love Make as well. I got really excited about Zapier then. We're going to bring it and go, thank you for listening. We really appreciate you tuning in.
Yeah. And if you need any help with implementing any systems or software, or, looking at your processes, and you just need a little bit of help to know what to do next to really kind of utilise more time in your day, then contact us at admin@stebbington.com. Have a look on our website, www.stebbington.com. We also have TikTok. Obviously, we have YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. We're on all of them.
Yeah.
Come find us.
Come and hang out. And like that, if there is any queries, like say you do have a Zap or a Make scenario that you're having issues with, and the support is great for both of them, but you sometimes might just need to speak to a human, please do give us a shout.
And we might get the humans to reply. Anyway, we will see you next month. Have a great month.
Bye.
Bye.